Welcome to the Stop Overdrinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving working moms come to learn how to stop overdrinking, reduce overwhelm and anxiety, and show up like the players they were meant to be. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik, and let's dig in. Welcome to episode 42, Breaking the Cycle, Part 1. Hello. How are y'all? Things are awesome over here. It's fall, finally. It's cooler in the mornings. Have to wear the jacket. It's all awesome. Went on a beautiful hike up at Pilot Mountain this past weekend with a couple friends. We took the kids to see the Addams Family cartoon. It was so cute. Highly recommend it. My husband and I got a couples massage. What else did we do? Oh, we decorated for Halloween. We had a big weekend. My son and I watched Eat, Pray, Love together, the Elizabeth Gilbert movie. I don't know if y'all have read that book or watched that movie, but it's so good. And he went to bed and then he got up and I was watching a movie alone and he asked if he could watch it with me. And he's like, is this a kid-friendly movie? And I'm like, yeah, it is. So he sat and watched it with me and it was so sweet. So that was my weekend. Oh, I also hired a running coach. I think last week in the podcast I mentioned that I want to increase my running speed for this Thanksgiving Day run. That's a 5-mile race. I want to run an 8-minute average pace per mile for 5 miles on Thanksgiving. So I hired a running coach and I'm super excited about it. I had my first workout with her last night. She kicked my ass, but I want to do all the things to make sure that I reach that goal, right? So having coaches is awesome to help you do things and have better results than you could do on your own and get results faster. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to reach that goal. And I'm going to get strong in the meantime, and I'm going to run fast and do different things, and it'll be interesting and fun. And even though it'll be hard work, I'm looking forward to every second of it. So this episode is about breaking the cycle. And when I say breaking the cycle, I'm sure you all know what I mean, like if we're over drinking or if we're overeating, or even if we just want to wake up early in the morning, and understanding why we're in that cycle in the first place and learning how to break that cycle so you can make changes. So this is a 2-part podcast series on breaking the cycle. This first part is understanding how our thoughts play into this auto-repeat cycle that you might be currently on. So thoughts like, I can't break the cycle, or I don't know how to break the cycle of over-drinking or overeating. And understanding why we don't do what we say we will do, right? Why can't you stop at 1 drink, especially since you've said you're only going to have 1? Have you ever thought these thoughts? Why can't I have just 1 piece of pizza? No matter what I say, I always do it. I say I won't drink and then I do. I say I'll get up early to exercise and then I don't. I say I won't eat after dinner and then I do. I say I won't eat sugar and then I do. And you might wonder why this happens over and over again. It might be super frustrating. And I'm going to tell you, first we have to recognize the cycle before we can break it, okay? So do you do this? Say you will do something. Usually it's for ourselves, like we are going to start a diet, we're going to stop over drinking, we're going to start exercising, we're going to journal every day, we're going to meditate, we're going to wake up early, read a book, watch a video, right? So when you say you'll do one of those things, it's usually for ourselves or our own self-improvement. And then you not do it. Right? So you say you're going to do it and then you don't do it. How often does this happen for you? Is it every day? Is it 2 times a day? How long have you been saying you need to do something and then you have all the good intentions of doing the said thing, but when it comes time to do it, you don't? For me, it was saying I wouldn't eat after dinner or while I was drinking wine. Also, I'd say I wouldn't drink during the week and then I would over and over again. Or I'd try a new diet or a plan and it would work for a while and then I would slowly get back into old habits. 1 bite here or there, 1 extra drink here or there. And before I knew it, I was stalling again and then I would give up. If you want to break that cycle, you need to first understand it. What do you think of your capabilities of breaking this cycle? Many of you think you don't know how to break the cycle and you believe you can't break the cycle. And when you think this, you might feel defeated. And when you feel defeated, you buffer with food or alcohol. You don't get up when you planned and you're not sticking to your food or drink plans. And your result from that is that you aren't breaking the cycle. Okay? Your thoughts, I don't know how to break the cycle, create a result of continuing in the cycle. Do you see that? You believe this to be a true fact about yourself, but it's not. It's just a thought that you're having. And when you think this, every time you drink more than you planned, or you don't get out of bed when you planned, right? It just creates more defeat, and you aren't used to feeling your feelings. And then you numb and want to escape those feelings, and you create more of the same result, and the cycle continues. Our thoughts create our results in our lives. So if you've been thinking, I can't get unstuck, or I'm trying everything, or no matter what I do, I'll always go back to my old ways, you are likely creating more of the same result. You go back to your old ways and you don't get unstuck. All right? So if you currently believe that this is who you are, like it's a fact, you will continue to create the same result of being on auto repeat, that cycle of feeling out of control, defeated, and stuck. And you don't have to keep believing that about yourself. It's totally optional. What is happening is your brain is trying to keep you safe. It thinks that you getting off the auto-repeat cycle is dangerous as hell. There'll be pain involved, effort and energy, and you won't get immediate pleasure, right? And when you think about stopping drinking or significantly cutting back, your brain is going to show you all the evidence that it won't work. And looking to your past is the easiest way your brain can think to show you this evidence of it not working. It's like a computer or a code that pulls up all the data from the past, all the diets or the programs or promises that this time it will be different, and displays them on a silver platter for you to see, all right, as evidence that this time won't be any different. Your brain is doing its job. But now the difference is that you are on to its dirty little tricks, right? They're not actually dirty. Your brain is just trying to survive. Remember, human beings at a very basic level, we're always constantly avoiding pain, seeking pleasure, and expending the least amount of effort possible. It's a motivational triad. That's how we've survived as a species. It's our primitive automatic response. But now we have a prefrontal cortex. It's our higher part of our brain that developed after our primitive part of our brain. And we can manage that primitive brain with our higher part of our brain, our prefrontal cortex. We just have to tell ourselves that we don't need evidence of our past to create what we want in the future. Okay? Think about this. If you never went to college or got your first job after college and you were in high school, would you let your brain say, you've never done that before. You can't finish things that you started. You don't follow through. No, you don't need evidence that you could finish college, right? You just needed belief that it was possible, a conviction that you were going to do something, that if you enrolled, show up and went to class, did the homework, studied, passed the test, and kept going, you'd earn that college degree, and then you'd get your first job, and you would start your career, right? The difference is that belief. You can't have belief that you will stop over drinking if you keep looking to your past for evidence of you doing this work. You have to look towards your future to tap into belief. You have to see that you can have what you want if you do the work to get there. You have to believe that you are capable or that you will learn how to be capable. Thoughts like I've tried everything, or I can't get unstuck no matter what I try, or I don't follow through, aren't going to help you get where you want to go. Those thoughts will produce more of the same result because when you think them, it doesn't feel good, right? And you aren't used to feeling your feelings. You're used to numbing them with food and alcohol, and then you get the same result that you have now. So breaking this cycle is seeing how often and where you are thinking these thoughts and acknowledging that these thoughts aren't helping you break the cycle. What can you think instead? How can you think of making changes differently than you have in the past? Maybe it's, I'm willing to figure this out, or I know it's possible, or I can do this, or I want to break the cycle, or I will break the cycle, or I can break the cycle, or breaking the cycle isn't hard, or I'm committed to breaking the cycle. I want you to try each of these thoughts on. Okay, so maybe you pause the podcast here, and you rewind it a little bit. You write down all of those thoughts. I'll repeat them again for you. I know it's possible. I can do this. I want to break the cycle. I will break the cycle. I can break the cycle. Breaking the cycle isn't hard. I'm committed to breaking the cycle. So when you write each of those thoughts down, I want you to think them, read them in your mind, and then sit with each of those thoughts for a second. And after you think the thought, ask how it feels when you think it. Okay? So think this thought. I know it's possible. And how does that feel for you? Does it feel true? Does it feel possible? Does it feel exciting? You know how that feels because it's individual for you, right? So if you think, I know it's possible and it feels anxious, then that thought's not working. You need to try on a different thought, okay? So you do this for each of those thoughts. Find one that you believe and that you feel is true for you, okay? Does it cause a feeling of confidence, power, excitement, enthusiasm, committed? If yes, then you're on to something. Those feelings will drive actions that are in alignment with where you want to go. If any of those thoughts are still creating fear or doubt or defeat, then they won't work for you, and you have to explore the different thought that resonates with you. These are just ideas to get you to think differently about breaking the cycle that you are currently in. Because your current thoughts certainly aren't doing that, right? You have to be willing to try on a bunch of different thoughts that will generate a positive emotion. It's like trying on different outfits, okay? You got to try one on until it fits. Keep trying the new thoughts on until you land on a thought that you believe right now that feels good. Then your actions from that feeling will feel good, and you are more likely to stick to them longer because it feels good for you. Actions that come from fear or defeat or doubt only last a short amount of time, and then you enter back into that cycle again. Okay, so this is how you break that cycle. You have to start thinking differently about it. Don't look to your past for evidence. Look towards your future. You need to create a vision of what you want and then just start believing you can achieve it. And it starts by letting go of our past failures and attempts. When your actions, such as getting up early, not drinking, not eating after dinner, are fueled by confidence or commitment, it's so much easier to do. Next week, I'm going to talk about the action part of breaking the cycle and how to handle the thoughts that come up in the moment when you say you will do something and then you don't feel like it, okay? If you want my help identifying your auto-repeat cycle and showing you where you are holding yourself back, please request a 30-minute consultation from me. If you think having me as your private coach would help you figure this out with stopping over drinking or overeating, then please request a consultation. The consult is for me to help you see how your thoughts are creating the same result and to see if working together makes sense. Please don't schedule the call for a quick answer to all of this. Schedule it if you're tired of being on the auto-repeat cycle and you believe working with me privately could be the solution. And I'll let you know during the call if I think you'd be a good fit. Also, I'm changing my coaching program and won't be available for this type of private one-on-one support that I'm currently offering. So get on in here if you want me to help you one-on-one. The link to request the consult is in the show notes. I love you all. Have a beautiful week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.